On behalf of Chief Executive Women, I'd like to acknowledge that we are recording on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the land upon which we learn, work, create, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging.
Driving the equality agenda.
Driving the equality agenda.
Driving the equality agenda.
Are we there yet?
Welcome to Driving the Equality Agenda, where I talk to exceptional leaders travelling the highway towards true gender equality, where we really want to understand what are the roadblocks along the way. Hello? Oh, hi, Sahai. Yeah. Okay, we'll see you in 5. I'm Anne Burns. We are here at the Hot Potato Studio and we're about to talk to Sahai Hawkins. She is one of many of the leaders that we talk to in this podcast, where we explore what is it that's holding us back. Each episode, we cover topics and skills and knowledge that empower women to take the leadership wheel. So if you feel like you're getting left behind and you want to be inspired by great women leaders, you're going to love this. On this episode, I had the absolute pleasure of talking to Sahai Hawkins, the 17-year-old who's become the youngest ever Wiggle. She's an internet sensation. She's an award-winning Latin dancer, and she's also a diversity advocate. She really believes in the power of representation and presenting a positive image to our children and their parents about the power of dance, movement, and song. I was really struck by the optimism and creativity of Sahai Hawkins. She gave me a completely new perspective on confidence that eliminates any sense of imposter syndrome. Imagine the power of that in the next generation of young women leaders. I learned a great deal from talking to Sahai, and I hope you do too. Sahai, I am so excited to see you. I cannot tell you, we have been planning this for so long, and here we are.
I know, it's so exciting to see you too.
Yeah, it's really, really great to see you. Last time I saw you, we were at Chief Executive Women's Leadership Summit.
Yes, that was an amazing day.
And you walked in, you were the end of the day. It had been a full-on day. So remember, there were 700 very senior executive women in that room. Let me tell you, it is really hard to keep those women quiet. They were captivated with everything that you said. And I remember I was stood at the back. I was like, how has she done that? How has she kept all these women quiet? And afterwards, there was a standing ovation. What was that like for you in that room with all those women and the lights and the cameras you'd be used to, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of an audience, that's different for you, right?
Definitely. Just want to say thank you. Yeah. It was great. But yeah, it was definitely totally different. Like, they were all very amazing, powerful women. Saw a lot of blazers and a lot of blazer dresses and suits, which I was wearing one as well. But it just felt like it was a room of really influential women and like people that I look up to. And I think I was very privileged and proud to be able to stand up there. I was very nervous, but they were also supportive. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, are they quiet? And then I looked out and they're all smiling, but I could tell they were listening, and I just felt great.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. And you are a woman of immense influence. But let's talk about that radiance, that confidence. I mean, who is Sahai and where does that confidence come from?
Sahai is a proud Aussie Ethiopian girl. She loves to dance. I think that confidence comes from when I was little. I've always been very bright and always been like on to the next thing. Like I like being entertained and I like doing things. My name literally translates to the sun in English. So I guess that's why I like to be energetic and joyful. But even from the orphanages where I was born, they told my mum I was very determined, and they got that once I got home. They realised how confident I was, and I like to take everything head on. So I guess it's just been from day one.
You have the most insane dance moves on TikTok and Insta. I watch them. I'm like, how does she do that? Were you always able to move like that?
It took some training, but I'm telling you, from the age, like as soon as I could walk, I was moving around the house like that. Like that's been me my entire life. It's gotten better as I've gotten older.
Yeah, I love it when you do your own choreography. I think it's just
Thank you.
It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much. I like learning dances, but making it up yourself, it feels really good, you know? It's something that comes from you, and it's all basically the way I express myself. So thank you.
Yeah, great. So one of the things I'm really intrigued about is you are obviously the youngest Wiggle. What is it like to be a Wiggle, and certainly someone of your age and experience? What is that like for you?
Oh, I love it. I guess being my age as well, I'm 17, so I grew up watching the original Wiggles, and it's really surreal that I get to be one now. I think that adds just the icing to the cake, is because I loved the Wiggles. I was a fully fledged Wiggles fan when I was little. So I guess being able to be a role model to the future generation is such a wonderful opportunity, like a job I never thought I'd have. And it's just so heartwarming when we do shows and we see the little children dancing and like basically experiencing their first concert, just like I did at a Wiggles show. It's like a full circle moment, and I get to kind of like, I enjoyed the Wiggles and now I get to give back.
And that next generation, that next evolution of the Wiggles, when I saw you on the front cover of Rolling Stone, you looked sensational.
Thank you. That was a pretty cool shoot. I have to say, I was like, whoa, this is cool.
It took my breath away. And what I think that did was just amplified everything that the Wiggles do. And to use your word about representation, you're only 17 and yet you're on the front cover of Rolling Stone magazine looking absolutely sensational. I mean, how does that change the perception of young women when they see you in that guise?
I think it was really cool. Like, I've never been on a photo shoot like that before. Like, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, walked in, I was like, oh, we're doing our Wiggles gear. Walked in, there was all these like cool outfits and all our Wiggles colors. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. When I saw the photo, I was like, no way. And I didn't realize, but I was the youngest Australian musician to be on the cover of the Rolling Stone mag.
Of course you were. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. Do you have that framed in your house somewhere?
I actually don't, but there are so many people that have told me I need to do that, so
you definitely need to do that. You need like the original picture.
Yes. Agreed.
Really incredible photograph of an inspirational young woman.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it was really cool. I loved seeing that when it came out, a lot of people that either hadn't been like in the loop of how the Wiggles are going were like, oh my gosh, there's an African girl in the Wiggles, and like she's not an adult yet. They were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, represent, go queen. And I felt very like uplifted and confident. I like built my confidence, and I just felt really proud that I get to represent girls of color.
So that incredible explosion after the Rolling Stone cover positioned the Wiggles in the stratosphere. How did that happen?
It was crazy. I mean, it kind of already started from the start of the year. I mean, the Wiggles have been going for 30 years. They've been
Has it been 30 years?
I know.
I feel like about 110 years old. 30 years? It's incredible.
It really is. It shows how iconic the group is and how they've got so much longevity. But it started pretty much at the start of the year when we did the Hottest 100 and they won. And everyone was like, wait, the Wiggles won a Hottest 100? Like, everyone was talking about it, and then the Rolling Stone mag, like you said, kind of was an explosion. It kind of boosted it all. We've done some really amazing collabs since then, like with Kid Laroi, and we did a skit with Steve Carell. Like, some people that are my absolute like icons. Like, I loved it. Like, amazing. And I think it's just the Wiggles are moving in a new direction in being inclusive and representing their audience. Now there's 8 Wiggles, there's 4 women, there's 4 men.
Great to see gender balance.
Yes, of course. And we're all different age ranges as well. And we're from all different backgrounds, and I'm very proud that I get to be the brown girl in the group. I love it. I'm very proud that I get to represent not only the African kids, the Ethiopian kids, but my brother's Colombian, and I do salsa, so I get to represent him. I get to represent the adoption community, and pretty much it. Like, I get to represent all kids that maybe don't like are a bit different, you know. And I'm really, really proud. I feel very privileged that I get that opportunity. And I think it's like going back to what we speak about, what kids see on TV reflects how they see the world. You know, if they see me on screen, they're like, oh, I look like her. I can do what she's doing. Everyone likes it, so I can do it as well. I think it's really important, and they've got so many Wiggles to choose from now, so who they can relate to. So I love it.
It's so interesting to me when you think about the immense power and positivity that comes from dance and movement and music. What do you think the impact of that immense power is on the way in which children see each other and the way in which they see the world?
I think it's really important. Like, it like immensely impacts children, because I think when they see someone dancing and like it's something that they like or they're attracted to, they're like, oh my gosh, that's normal. Society loves it, so I'm going to join in too. And I think music is, obviously being a Wiggle, we see it firsthand that children, like, there's just something in their brain that clicks when they hear a song or it's a move they like, and it releases joy. And like, I just feel like it's something that everyone can be a part of, like music and dance. You don't have to be an amazing singer or musician or dancer. You can just have fun. And I think that's really important, because that's really all children want to do, is have fun and learn. So I think it's something new for them.
It's music in particular, when it's combined with dance, it breaks down all sorts of barriers. There are no barriers in music and dance. And we see that with everything that the Wiggles are doing, but we also see that in society.
Yes.
And one of the things we're trying to do at Chief Executive Women is to get that inclusive vibe, that inclusive energy, the power of that positivity at all ages.
Yes.
So what's the reaction from parents? I mean, you have a million gazillion fans as children, but you also have enormous numbers of fans that are parents, like me.
Yeah.
I'm a fangirl. I'm a big fangirl. So what is that like for you, having this range of ages around your fan base for the Wiggles and for yourself?
I think it's really crazy. Like, I'm not used to it. I've been a dancer my entire life, and like, I probably had mainly adults coming up, like, because at dance shows, that was pretty much the age range. But having like from 2-year-olds to like parents, and like to even teenagers who watch the Wiggles with their siblings, like having them being like, oh my gosh, that's a Wiggle, like your dancing is amazing. And it means a lot, because people see that like I'm a dancer and that's what I love. It's my passion. And like I think a lot of the parents as well who like music and dance and what's trending, like as I bring that into the Wiggles and salsa, like my cultural styles, they see something that's familiar and they're like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And their kids start joining in and learning new styles that, like, you know, they probably wouldn't have learnt. And I think it's wonderful. I grew up watching the originals and they were amazing, but like there was no salsa, there was no like hip hop, there was no like body movement like this, like on the Wiggles when I was then. But like I used to watch Beyonce, I was like, I'm going to be like her.
Yeah, a Beyonce Wiggle. Okay, I think that's what you are. I think you're the Beyonce Wiggle.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But like that was like who I was influenced by. And I think it's amazing that now kids get to learn like from the Wiggles, and there's now 8. So they have whoever they choose to like aspire to be like. And I get to be the one that likes to dance and move. And I think when I was little, I would have loved someone like that to look up to.
You said that actually at the Chief Executive Women's Summit.
Yeah.
You said something that stayed with me for many, many weeks. You talked about the importance of representation, and then you said it's really important for children to know it's okay to be who they are. Why do you think that?
I think because I've always been different. I think that's coming from a personal point of view. Like I think growing up, I grew up in Southwest Sydney, as you know, by my speech in the summit. And, you know, there weren't many African Ethiopian children with white parents. I had a Colombian brother, and I was a little girl, and I like to read and all that, but I was like a dancer. Like I like to move to ways that people weren't used to, and like it wasn't something that they like some were comfortable with. And I used to get told, oh, maybe like calm it down a little bit.
No,
but no, it's my culture. It's what I'm proud of, and I think that's what I would like to inspire the next generation of little kids. If they want to do ballet, do ballet. If they want to do hip hop, do hip hop. They want to dance African and like move all their body. Like I think you really need to be proud in who you are, because that's helped me so much. My parents, every time people didn't think it was right or they were a bit like uncomfortable by it, my parents were like, no, like be proud in who you are. And I think that's how I've gotten to where I am now. Like I'm confident in, and I'm proud of my culture, and it's part of me. So I think children need to learn that from a young age, because once they start, like they once they know what they want to do, they can follow their dreams without having any barriers in the way.
And they can see what they actually want to be.
Yeah.
And the power of that is infinite.
It is, yeah.
Let's talk about social media, the good, the bad, the great. And let's talk about We Are 8. It's an incredible platform. It's free from hate. It's actually algorithm free. Who would have thought that was possible? and it enables you to give back to charities of your choice. How did you get involved with We Are 8?
They reached out to me, and I guess they loved my positive vibe of happiness, sunshine, and like their brand is yellow, so it matched as well. And I think what We Are 8 strives to do really aligns with my views, which is keeping everything positive, again, free from hate. And I really love how if you watch a video and an ad, you answer questions and it donates money to a charity. Like, who thought social media could help you donate to charities without doing anything? Like, I think it's a really beautiful place where people can come together and just feel supported.
And it's not got any specific mandate. It doesn't have to be on brand. It doesn't have to be on message. It's just you being you.
Literally, it's just you. Yeah, We Are 8. It's all positivity, and it's literally just your life unfiltered.
But I love that. I really love that, because usually social media, we're presenting this kind of semi-fake image sometimes. Yeah. And when you became a Wiggle, what was the reaction on social media?
I expected to not get such a positive reaction. Obviously, you get some people not enjoying change, but it was just so lovely. Like, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy there's a girl of colour a part of the Wiggles, like an Ethiopian girl. The adoption community was like, oh my gosh, you're representing us, like, go Sahai, we're Team Sahai. And I think like dancers as well, parents that were previous dancers or were part of the performance industry were like so excited to see someone who's like a trained dancer. And it was really lovely. I had people started going through my dance videos and like writing, be like, oh, did you know the Wiggle could do this? Like, it was really cool. I expected way worse. And
it was instant.
Yeah,
it just happened almost overnight.
It did.
It was like a tsunami of social media, and it was a tsunami of positive social media.
I remember Michael, my PR manager, was saying, you post your Sahai yellow photo at like 9 o'clock or something. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll post it. And he's like, your phone's going to like ding all day, so maybe like turn it on silent. I did not believe him. I was like, oh yeah, like posted it. And then it was just like notification after notification. I was like, whoa. And like I didn't even see like the mean comments, because there was just so many like nice.
Isn't that great?
Like, comments,
you don't even see the mean comments because the positivity is off the chart.
Yeah.
What a great experience.
It definitely was.
So Sahai, do you think, I'm thinking about your TikTok videos and I'm thinking about your insane dance move on Instagram. Do you think you could teach somebody like me to dance?
Yes.
Really?
Definitely. Of course, dance is for everyone, like literally.
Even me.
I bet you have a proper groove.
I'm not sure about the proper groove. I have some like 80s moves, I think. But,
yes. Then you could teach me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, you do not want to see my 80s moves. It'd be really, really bad. But I love the positivity that you say anybody can dance.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, when certain tunes come on, I'm up there. And when I watch you doing your dance moves, I'm like, how does she get her body to go that way when she's going over here? And how does she do all those movements? I'm definitely, a bit of a fangirl on those moments.
Thank you. Oh, I guess the music just tells me what to do.
The music tells you what to do?
Yeah.
Wow, I like that. I wonder if the music from the 80s would tell me what to do. I'm a bit nervous about that. So if you could teach me to dance, that would give me a greater sense of confidence. Is that right?
Definitely correct.
So I love that with little kids, that sense of confidence, that they then grow up with that sense of confidence, because I meet so many senior women who have what we call imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is when you've reached a great level in your organisation, you've got your dream job, and when you get there, you kind of have this negative narrative in your brain that says, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe I'm not good enough for this job. Maybe I don't have the qualifications. And so that imposter syndrome is something that we're really trying to eliminate through confidence and this idea of gravitas with senior women. Have you heard of imposter syndrome?
No, I haven't, but it makes so much sense, yeah.
And have you ever had that kind of negative narrative in your brain before you go on stage, and how do you overcome that negative narrative?
I don't think I've ever had it before going on stage, because performing is like my comfortable zone. It's where I feel super safe. But I think definitely like just even growing up at school, like I was different. And like sometimes I felt uncomfortable. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Like I don't look like the other kids. But I think just having a supportive family and people around me that like wanted what was best for me, like they were like, no, be proud, be confident in who you are. But yeah, there's always been like, you always sometimes have negative things in your head. And I think if you're just confident in who you are, you kind of just push through it. It's kind of died down now. I'm very like, I'll take anything that comes. So
Yeah.
I think I've definitely understand it though, and I definitely think I might have had imposter syndrome when I was like maybe little, but I think I was always a really confident child. So I felt it, but I never really acted on it.
You never gave it any oxygen.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we are on a mission to eliminate imposter syndrome, certainly with the education of little girls. So having role models like yourself is really important for that. Tell me about what happens before you go on stage. It's your happy place.
Yeah.
It's your comfort zone completely. I know you do an incredible job, but give me some inside tips and tricks. Do you have a mantra that you say? Do you have breathing exercises? Like, what do you do to drum up that confidence?
I think if it's the first time I've performed in a while, or if it's a new show, like for example, we're used to doing just the children's shows through the day, but like for Falls Fest or one of the original shows, it's completely different. It's a different vibe. So like I guess we we all hype ourselves up, like, you know, we're supportive and we're excited. I mean, I always pray. I'm religious, so I think God's always got my back. So I always pray before, and I know everything will be okay. But I never stress before going on stage unless we've got like a new song that we haven't done in a while. But like never stress to the point where I'm worried. I'm always like, oh, this will be fun. You know, the Wiggle shows are absolutely amazing. I have the best time on stage, like seeing all the children. Like we even laugh and have jokes and banter on stage. It's like the best. So going out, it's mainly just smiles. Like I'm always just really excited.
How great is that? No imposter syndrome, no performance anxiety, no nerves.
No, I'm lucky for that one.
Yeah.
I think it's because I've spent most of my life on stage. So
Yeah.
maybe.
And what happens afterwards? You've got so much energy afterwards. Do you kind of sleep for a week? I mean, or do you just kind of relax? What happens afterwards?
Well, mainly when we're doing shows, we're touring. So we'll have like 3 shows a day and it will go like that for weeks. So you don't really get too much time to sleep through the day. It's usually lunchtime after the first show, and I love eating, so I'm always excited for lunch. And we usually film a TikTok dance or something in the breaks if they're long. If it's like if it's a day we've had like a lot of shows, everyone is usually like a bit more asleep and a bit more tired.
Yeah.
But we're usually always doing something in between breaks, either like rehearsing a new song or we're filming a dance video. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And when you go on tour, do you get a chance to see where you are? I saw that you went to Canada on the big tour of Canada, and you got some time to basically look around and see what was going on in Canada. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. We got to stay in Toronto for 2 weeks, and we like drove out to each city. So we always came back to a similar place. So when we had venues that were close by and they were later in the day, the shows, like we had a bit in the morning to look around. And on the drives, like we stop places. But we only have like a few days allocated to days off and like actually getting to explore it. But we spent a lot of time there and we did a lot of traveling. So you do get to see pretty much everything.
So where are you going next? What are you most excited about on the next series of tours?
I think I'm excited to tour again, but have a lot more experience, like a year of experience and being a bit more comfortable on stage and just being like...
Has it really only been a year? I can't believe that. With all the work you've done, it's only been a year.
It's weird, hey?
Yeah.
It's like I joined in 2021, but I've been like an official Yellow Wiggle. It started January 2022. So it has been like a year of like full touring, and I've just gotten so used to it. I love it. But I'm really excited. I love Australia. There's no place like home. So I always love touring up New Queensland. The weather's always nice when we go. So I always love being there. But I think we're going overseas again this year, and I'm looking forward to what places we'll be going to.
I want to see the Africa tour.
Oh my gosh. I agree. So would I. I would love to see an Africa tour.
Yeah, let's talk to Michael, your PR agent. Let's set that up.
Oh my gosh, that would be absolutely amazing. I love it. Well, I haven't been back to Ethiopia since I was born. My dad went back for 2 weeks to try and find my background story, and we didn't really find anything. We're still on the lookout for if we end up finding out who my parents are, my birth parents are, or anything.
You do have this really interesting experience where you kind of realise people talk to you about nature versus nurture. Is it how you were brought up, or is it something that was already in your DNA.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's both.
Yes, definitely.
And when I met my birth mother, it's like looking in a mirror. And I'd never seen anybody who looked exactly like me before. And I was 40.
We've tried. We haven't got any leads at the moment, unfortunately. All my files were lost, so it's kind of like we just searching. I know that if it's meant to be, it will happen, but I would absolutely love to. So I'm definitely looking forward to going back, even just seeing where I was before I stepped foot in Australia. Will be cool.
Yeah. An Ethiopian-born Australian.
I know. I love it.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, and as you know, my brother's Colombian, so we call ourselves the Aussie Colopians.
That's great, the Aussie Colopians. I love that. That's great. So, hi, as I do with all of my guests on this podcast, Driving the Equality Agenda, I ask for one piece of advice, so kind of one piece of advice, one for the road, if you like. What would be your one piece of advice for leaders and for parents in terms of building that confidence?
I think it's very similar to my summit answer, which is be confident in who you are. Trust what you believe in and follow your heart, follow your dreams. You know, there'll be people along the way who might say it doesn't work. I've also got an amazing family, so they have always supported me and I always know whether things are going to work. But I think to constantly just be confident in who you are, believe in yourself, and I think you can do anything.
So, hi, I just really wanted to say thank you. I know you have a very busy schedule. We're here at Hot Potato Studios. We've just crept into your schedule. So thank you ever so much for your time, your enthusiasm and being you.
No worries. Thank you for having me. I've had an absolute blast.
So to leave you with some inspiration and so that you can experience just a little bit of the impact that Sahai had with her powerful words at the summit, have a listen to this. And it's farewell from Hot Potato Studios and Sahai Hawkins.
And to other people of colour here today, keep pushing our agenda and find organisations who support you and helps you to have a voice. Ultimately, we need to see diverse leadership, not just gender, but also from different cultures. And this will help to show little children that they're all superheroes and they have the chance to make a real difference in the world. Thank you.
You've been listening to Driving the Equality Agenda, a podcast brought to you by Chief Executive Women. If you'd like to learn more, check out our show notes attached to this episode. And if you're curious about the leadership development programs from Chief Executive Women, please contact us on cw.org.au and follow us online with the hashtag Driving the Equality Agenda. Also, I would encourage you to follow the amazing Sahai Hawkins on Instagram and TikTok. You will be entertained and educated. Finally, a shout out to our amazing producer, Sarah Linton from Cobox, and thank you for listening.